All right, good morning, brothers, sisters, friends. Thank you for being here, joining us in support of a national heat illness and injury prevention standard. Look around you. We are here today because for too long, the sweat of working people has been taken for granted and their safety ignored in the face of extreme heat. We gather today with a singular, powerful message. Heat justice is a human right, and worker safety is not negotiable. For too many, the rising temperatures mean risking their health, their livelihoods, and even their lives just to do their jobs. 69 million workers across the country will be affected by extreme heat this summer, and more people die of heat illness than any other weather hazard. But this isn't just about hot weather, it's about heat justice. California is leading the nation in implementing both indoor and outdoor heat standards, but regardless of their job or their zip code, every worker has the fundamental right to a safe workplace, safe from life-threatening dangers of heat exposure. Water, rest, and shade shouldn't be concessions, they should be a right for workers. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dylan Savory, the Executive Director of the Fresno Madera Tulare Central Labor Council.
Morning, everyone. Dylan Savory. I'm the Executive Director of the Union Central Labor Council. We represent 50,000 workers in 40 affiliated labor unions. As Ben mentioned, we're struck by the fact that we're in California and we're having to lead the way once again to help workers across this country actually work in an environment that gets them home at night without heat illness or without the risk of fatality. And we're very fortunate in the Central Valley because everybody here knows that we're used to extreme weather conditions in the Central Valley, but that's not the case all over the country. Just this week, Alaska issued its first ever extreme heat warning, and certainly they don't have any protections in place for such climate events. 2 years ago, 2023, the state of Texas rescinded or put a mandate forward that rescinded all of the local ordinances that different counties had put forth to protect workers and offer them shade and water breaks. And now they have no such protection because the state of Texas is more interested in what businesses can do with their workers rather than on behalf of their workers. And so there are no protections in very, very hot states like Texas. But in California and in the Central Valley, we have strong labor unions that have put forward bills and put pressure on our state government to make sure that we have the strongest protections in the United States. And we have third world conditions in our neighboring states, and that's unacceptable for us. So it's not just about being in a union. We always protect our own, but strong unions in strong states like California are able to put forward, positions and bills and advocacy that will hopefully protect the almost 70 million workers throughout the United States that do not have these protections. So everybody should get home, have dignity in their work, should be safe, should be able to play with their kids, and should be able to go to work and feel like they're going to make it home without heat illness or the risk of fatality. So I'm excited to be here. I'm really proud of our staff for putting this together. And we should all think about how fortunate we are to be used to this climate, to live in California, but what else we can do for our neighbors, our brothers and sisters and friends in other parts of the state and other parts of the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. I'd next like to introduce Reyes Oviedo, our Program Director for Valley Forward.
Good morning, everyone. Reyes Oviedo, Program Director with Valley Forward. Thank you all for being here. I'm here to urge federal OSHA to increase its standards and to help our workers across the nation. As our planet warms, extreme heat is no longer an occasional summer inconvenience. It is a profound and growing occupational hazard. Every year, thousands of workers suffer from heat-related illness and tragically dozens lose their lives. From agricultural fields to sweltering warehouses, bustling kitchens, workers across diverse industries are exposed to dangerous temperatures, often without adequate protection. The current U.S. federal OSHA heat standards are insufficient. They are reactive, not proactive, and they fall short of a comprehensive protection for our workforce deserves. This is where California offers a powerful blueprint. For years, Cal OSHA has led the nation with its robust and effective outdoor heat illness prevention standard. This isn't just a guideline, it's a legally enforceable set of requirements designed to prevent illness before it starts. It's a mandate. It mandates access to cool, fresh drinking water at all times, adequate shade, and paid cool-down rest breaks. It requires employers to develop and implement heat illness prevention plans, provide comprehensive training to both employees and supervisors, ensure acclimatization periods for new and returning workers, and establishes an effective emergency response procedure. Critically, it sets a specific trigger for temperature. For example, at 80 degrees Fahrenheit, employers must take certain precautions, and at 95 degrees, stricter high heat procedures kick in. More recently, in California, Cal OSHA has extended its foresight to indoor environments, recognizing the threat of heat stress isn't confined to outdoors. Cal OSHA's indoor heat standards mirrors many of these proactive measures, ensuring that workers in factories, laundries, and other indoor settings also have access to cooling, training, and emergency protocols when temperature soars. These are not abstract concepts. They are proven, life-saving measures. California has demonstrated that the comprehensive heat standards are not only feasible, but essential to protecting workers. Now, why is it imperative that the federal OSHA mirror these standards nationwide? First, it's most fundamentally, it's a matter of worker equity and safety. The fundamental right to a safe workplace should not depend on what a state worker lives in. Whether you're harvesting crops in Florida, building a skyscraper in Texas, or working in manufacturing in Ohio, your life and health are equally valuable and deserve the same level of protection. Adopting Cal OSHA's model ensures a consistent, high baseline of safety for all American workers. Second, there are clear economic benefits. Heat-related illness lead to lost productivity, increased healthcare costs, and higher workers' compensation claims. Proactive prevention, as demonstrated by California, reduces burdens. A healthy workforce is a productive workforce. Investing in prevention now saves lives and resources in the long run. Third, the climate crisis demands it. As average temperatures continue to rise and heat waves become more frequent and intense across the entire nation, heat stress will increasingly impact every state, every industry, and every community. Federal action is no longer optional. It's an urgent national imperative to adapt our safety regulations to the realities of a changing climate. Cal OSHA standards are not theoretical. They are practical, enforceable, and have been successfully implemented for years. They provide a clear, proven framework for federal OSHA to adopt, adapt, and implement nationwide. Protecting our workers from extreme heat is not just a regulatory obligation. It is a moral imperative. It is about valuing human life and ensuring a workplace dignity and building a more resilient and equitable nation. We urge federal OSHA to act decisively. Let them look at California's success and implement a comprehensive indoor and outdoor heat standards that truly protect every worker everywhere. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to welcome Annalisa Perea, our own City of Fresno council member.
All right, good morning, everyone. Want to thank everyone for being here today. And as the council member here in the City of Fresno, it just brings me greatness but sadness that we are here today standing in solidarity to continue to fight for emergency protections for our workers. But here in Central California, the sun beats down harder than in most places in this country. And it doesn't just touch the grounds, it touches the backs of the people who keep our food supply moving, who build our homes, who keep our economy running. So this is our farm workers, this is our construction crews, our outdoor labor force specifically. They are the essential workforce that America for far too long has taken for granted. This summer alone, about 69 million workers across the US is at risk for extreme heat conditions. Yet there are still no federal rules in place to protect them. And while here in our state, we have taken leadership in both indoor and outdoor heat illness and prevention protocols, there are still no federal standards to protect the workers in the fields or on the job sites. And that simply is unacceptable. And we're not just talking about hypotheticals, we are talking about actual human lives. More people die from heat-related illnesses than any other natural causes here in our country, and that includes both flooding and hurricanes. This issue didn't just happen by accident. This was a lack of leadership that we're seeing at the federal level. And we do have the ability to close this policy gap. We do have the leaders in place today that do have the power to change and bring the change that our workforce so desperately needs. On June 16th, OSHA began public hearings on a proposed national heat standard to protect workers from heat-related illnesses. We must tell those in power it's time to protect the people who build, grow, and sustain this country. As a council member, I want everyone to know that I stand with you. Our city will continue to push for stronger standards, better emergency response, and climate-smart infrastructure that will protect the people who make this city and this valley thrive. Because in this city, we strongly believe that no one should have to choose between their paycheck or their life. The time to act is now. I want to thank the Central Labor Council for inviting me to be here today, and the work just continues. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Council Member. Next, I'd like to welcome Martin from CBDIO.
Hi, good morning. My name is Martin and I work for Centro Binacional para el Desarrollo Indígena Oxaqueño. And now we're here to let know about OSHA, to put more strict rules for ranchers, contractors, because we've been having meetings with the community members that they say they don't have water, but they don't have shade. Sometimes they do carry it, but they don't open it so they can sit down. So what happens if something emergency is happening, like illness, heat illnesses, or something that they need to do with someone? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to welcome Rolando from CBDIO.
Muy buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es Rolando Romualdo Hernández y como dijo mi compañero, pues somos del Centro Binacional para el Desarrollo Indígena Oxaqueños. Estamos el día de hoy aquí anunciando, verdad, por lo que hemos visto realmente, pues muchas de las veces cuando vamos en los campos vemos bastante trabajadores trabajando al aire libre, pero realmente lo que es la sombra no es suficiente para los trabajadores. Es algo muy feo ver eso, verdad, porque realmente no se está cumpliendo lo que el OSHA están haciendo. Pues exigimos que hagan su trabajo y que realmente se cumplan las leyes, ¿no? Porque las leyes se hicieron para cumplirlas, no para romperlas. Porque ellos nos ponen un ejemplo cuando uno de los campesinos no tiene licencia, los para la policía, los trabajadores tienen que pagar las consecuencias por no traer la licencia de manejar, ¿no? De igual manera estas leyes se tienen que cumplir y que hagan sombra para los trabajadores, porque sin agua, sin sombra no se pueden trabajar, señores. Así que pedimos que se cumpla, que hagan justicia sobre la sombra y agua, ¿verdad? Que haga suficiente para los trabajadores del campo. Y pues eso sería todo de nuestra parte. Gracias.
Friends, colleagues, champions for justice, thank you for being here, braving the sun. This has been a short amount of time in the sunlight and the heat. This is what we're trying to protect workers from across the nation. We heard about the devastating impact of extreme heat on our essential workers in the fields, on construction sites, and in our warehouses. Today, we are part of a building movement that demands accountability, enforces protections, and ensures that no worker is left behind in the heat. Please visit heatjusticenow.org to learn more about how you can continue to advocate for heat justice for workers. Thank you.